So I went to Europe, like actually went. Like I got on a plane, I left Canada, and suddenly everything around me felt different. Like all of the buildings. And I didn't expect it to hit me the way that it did. First, it was just excitement. Packing, stressing, making sure I didn't forget anything important, which I still feel like I did. There's always that moment where you're like, I definitely forgot something. But you just have to accept it and go. The airport was total chaos. Obviously, everybody moving fast, dragging luggage, and I'm just trying to act calm while internally I'm like, okay, is this actually happening? And then when you get on the plane, I don't know what it's about planes, but they make you feel weirdly emotional. Like you're just sitting there looking out the window and then you're thinking about your whole life. And then after all that, we land. And stepping into a completely different country for the first time, it's such a strange feeling. Nothing's wrong, but nothing feels familiar either. Our first stop was London, and London immediately felt important. Like everyone had weight to it. Not in that way. The buildings, the streets, even just the way people move, it all kind of felt cinematic. One of the first big things we did was we seen a musical. We seen the Tina Turner musical. And I swear that performance was insane. The vocals, the energy, and the live performance. The way the audience was just locked in. It didn't feel like watching something. It felt like being a part of it. And then we also saw the Devil Wears Prada musical, which was such a different vibe and ran for 2 hours. It was more stylish, more sharp, and I remember sitting there thinking like, people just casually have access to this level of performance all the time here. It made me reflect on creativity in general. Like seeing people perform at that level makes you want to step up your own game, you know? Outside of this theater stuff, London itself was iconic. We went to Big Ben and we did, and I know that sounds basic, but seeing it in real life is actually different. You think it's going to feel overrated, but it doesn't. It just stands there like, yeah, I've been here forever. And of course I had to try fish and chips. And not gonna lie, it was really good. Like simple, comforting, crispy, solid. Yeah. But one thing nobody prepared me for was crossing the street. Because why are there so many cars coming from opposite directions? And how in the world do those buses turn on such tight corners? That's insane. I genuinely had this moment where I stepped forward and immediately had to step back like, wow, how does this go about? So yeah, London was amazing, but also slightly dangerous for me personally. After London, we went to Paris, and Paris felt completely different. It was quieter in a way, slower, more romantic. Definitely not slower, it was way more faster, actually. Just in the atmosphere. And then there was the Eiffel Tower. I've seen pictures of it my whole life, obviously, but seeing it in person kind of makes everything go quiet for a second. I remember just standing there and looking up, and it didn't even feel real. It felt like I was inside a photo or something. And I didn't expect to feel emotional, but I kind of did. Not in a dramatic way, just present. Like, fully aware of where I was. Like, holy shit, I'm at the Eiffel Tower. And then after Paris, we went to Belgium, specifically Bruges. And Bruges felt like stepping into a completely different world. It's one of those places that looks unreal. Like, everything's so perfect. The buildings, the canals, the little streets. It literally looks like a painting. It was calm, quiet, and honestly kind of peaceful. And the chocolate there, I'm not exaggerating when I say it was the best chocolate I've ever had. It didn't even taste like what I was used to. It was smoother, richer, and it actually made me pause for a second, like, wow, this is what chocolate's supposed to be. Bruges felt like a place where time slows down. There wasn't a rush like in big cities. It was more about just being there. And then finally we went to Amsterdam. And Amsterdam was chaos, but in a fun way. The first thing I noticed was the bikes. There were so many bikes everywhere, and they do not slow down for you. I had to learn very quickly to stay aware at all times because those people will ring their bell and keep going like you're the problem. And once you adjust to it, the city actually feels really alive. There's water everywhere, big canals, bridges, and people just existing doing their thing. It felt artsy and relaxed, like a place where you could just be yourself without overthinking it. And I think at that point by the trip, I started to feel very different. More open and less in my head, just taking things in instead of worrying about everything. And then suddenly it was time to go home. Which felt weird because the whole time you're there feels like you're in a separate world, like your life is paused. And then you're on a plane again heading back to Canada and everything you experience just kind of sits with you. I remember looking out the window and thinking about everything that had happened in such a short amount of time. London, Paris, Bruges, Amsterdam. All these places I had only ever seen online, and now they were real memories. And coming back home, nothing had changed, but my perspective definitely had, even in the small ways. I think traveling does that to you. It doesn't hit you immediately, but it definitely shifts your perspective. You realize how big the world actually is and how small you really are, and how much there is to see, experience, and to learn from. And honestly, that trip made me want more. More experiences, more places, and more moments where I feel that same kind of awe. Because once you step outside of your normal life and see what else is out there, it's hard just going back into thinking how you used to. It's hard to explain. So yeah, that was my trip to Europe, and I don't think it was going to be my last.